Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Tour at 10. My name is Joshua Campbell-Torrance. I'm the Executive Director here at the Bennington Museum, and I'm so glad that you're joining us on these morning Tours at 10. Today, we're back in the Bennington Museum Modernism Gallery, and we can't wait to give you maybe a little bit of a different perspective on how to look at and appreciate this wonderful collection of Bennington Modernism art.
Hey everybody, this is Dina Mallory. I'm the Director of Public Programs here at Bennington Museum. And we're here in the Bennington Modernism Gallery today because a lot of people don't know this about me, but I have no background in art. So I come to a lot of this art as a novice, as an amateur, and the modern art, for me, like it is for a lot of people, was kind of hard to wrap my mind around. So a lot of people come in here and they're like, well, I don't really get this art. And what I've learned, and I have to give a big shout out to our friends at Mass MoCA and the Clark and Williams College Museum of Art, because back in, I think it was maybe 2011, I attended a week-long institute there where I learned that I was capable of looking at and talking about every kind of art there is. And that's something that I love to share with people, because a lot of people who don't have an art history background are kind of intimidated about talking about art. But if you've got a set of working eyes and a voice, you can talk about art. So what I tell people when they come into Bennington Modernism is that the first thing you have to do is make your brain stop, because our brains are wired to make meaning out of things. When we see something like this piece behind me here, our brains automatically go into, well, what is it mode? Trying to figure out what this is supposed to be. And what I've learned is that that's kind of a mistake when you walk into Bennington Modernism, because these artists weren't necessarily interested in painting us a picture of something. What they were really interested in were the fundamental basic elements of art. So color and shape, and then experimenting with those things. Like, well, how does how I perceive the color yellow change if I put it next to dark blue? And is that different than if I take that same yellow and put it next to orange, for example? So they were really playing with these fundamentals of color, line, shape, and then they were doing crazy things like, well, you know, most artists, when they start a painting, they do what's called priming the canvas, and they put some material over the canvas so that the paint sits on top of the canvas. Well, these artists started thinking, what if I didn't do that? What if I just poured the paint directly on the canvas and let it soak in? And Helen Frankenthaler is really famous for developing this style of art called soak stain painting, where the canvas and the paint become one. So it was all about experimentation. So I often tell people, like, it is sometimes hard to wrap your mind around this style of art. But if you really make yourself kind of slow down and spend some time with it, you start to see more and more and more. And so actually I've developed this new personal technique when I go into a gallery, even if it's here at the Bennington Museum. I look for the piece that I really don't like. I look for the piece that I think is ugly or weird, and that's the piece I go and spend time with. So today I'm spending time with this piece. It's relatively new to our gallery. I don't even know who the artist is, but for my purposes right now, that's not that important. What's important is to just spend some time looking at this piece of art, and the more I do, the more I discover about it. So the first things that jump out are the colors, the orange and the yellow, and then I see this brown and black, and then these shapes, right, the curvy shapes that to me look kind of like the letter C maybe. And then as I keep looking, I notice, oh wow, there's so much more color in here. Like, look right in the center here. If you look there, there's more yellow, there's green, there's these shades of green and blue, and the browns kind of mix into the oranges here, and I think there's even like multiple shades of brown. The more I look at it, the more I see, and the more layers I see, and it starts to become kind of interesting. I still might not want to hang it in my living room, but it becomes a really interesting piece of art. And one of the ways that that institute taught me to approach art is to find something that I am comfortable with. Like for me, I love to write. So I've written stories, I've written poems, I love to write letters. So with a work of art like this that I really want to get to know and understand, I might sit here in front of it for, I don't know, 20 minutes and keep looking at it and see what words come to mind, and maybe I would write a poem about it, or maybe I would write a story about it, or write a letter to someone describing this work of art. And that's just a way that I would approach it. Maybe you're a dancer and you would look at this work of art and start seeing how it makes you want to move your body. And by the way, it's okay to dance in the galleries. We like that, actually. And do what feels natural to you and use it to approach a work of art that might be unusual to you.
Thank you very much, Dina, for that really great approach of how to appreciate and understand. And I think what was inspiring for me to think about as she was speaking, we as curators, we as museum people, we love to give you labels and we love to give you interpretation. But the real power in my mind of art and of history and of museums is that we each bring our own perspectives. We each bring our own values, our own experiences to the things that we're looking at or reading about. And although this may be a little bit shocking or surprising, we as museum people don't know everything about the things that we have. And we actually appreciate hearing from you all your opinions on either the art or the history or the objects that we're showing you. And Dina just perfectly emphasized that today. Art is interesting because you can make your own individual meaning of it, and there is no right answer. So thanks for joining us today at Tours at 10. We can't wait to have you all back here at the galleries finding your own meaning in the things that we have here at the Bennington Museum. In the meantime, stay strong, stay safe, and stay creative.